Hey everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today we're working on a very easy, simple gift to make someone. You can do this in a very variety of ways. The only limitation is your imagination, so really just think about the project or what the material you have on hand and what you can make with it. So this is a tie quilt. It's normally done with polar fleece or micro polar fleece. It's a non-fray fabric that is kind of got some nice little pull and depth to it, so it's very comfortable and warm and sometimes very soft depending on the fabric. And what we do is we put two of those together and make a nice soft blanket, okay? So what I have going on here, because I have done this before to make heating pads and covers and hot water bottle covers. I knew he was going to come talking. Come on. Come on. There's no sota this time. Come on. Come on. All right, here, I'll put you in the chair. Oh, man. Come here. There we go. Okay. There you go. You get your Clive time, too. So what we're going to do here, like just pretend this little pillow here is a hot water bottle, and we're just going to make a cover for it. It's the same thing as we were going to make a blanket, depending on the sizes you're looking for, whether you're looking for a heating pad cover, a pillowcase cover, just something that maybe, you know, you leave one side open and the dollies tuck in, so it's a nice little fun sleeping bag, or even for the kids, you make it big enough for them so they can tuck in like a little sandwich, and, you know, all the sides are all tied together. So this is a no-sew project, very fun, very easy, okay? So because we're trying to cover this as being a hot water bottle cover, I came in with my ruler to approximately 3 inches in and just kind of was making a little mark to go all the way around. I rounded my corners. I didn't make them as points just because I thought it would be easier to be able to cut the fabric. Okay, there we go. So let's just use this as a little template so you kind of see where I'm going with this. Okay, and just marking approximately 3 inches up, because that gives you enough of the ties or enough of the length of fabric to do a tie, because that's what the whole, you know, polar fleece or micro polar fleece tie quilt is, or tie blanket is all about. So it's just about tying the fabrics together. There's no sewing. This is, I think, one of the very few projects we've ever had that had nothing to do with sewing, considering we are a quilt shop and sewing is our life. And I would like to update you on how the progress I have made on the frequency quilt for Pop and I, and how I've bulked it up. So I'll show you there. So here I've made my square. You can see that right there, a little bit of chalk line. It goes 3 inches in, and in. And then what we would want to do is cut with, probably, if you want to do this a lot, and it happens to be a fantastic idea of what you want to do for making projects for people for next year for Christmas or whatever, you may want to have a spring scissors, like scissors that spring back on you. Very easy because it helps with the motion of trying to cut, because trust me, there's a lot of cutting going on. Okay, so you can measure this an inch, inch and a half, 3/4 of an inch. It's completely up to you, depending on the size of project, I guess. The first blanket that was made for me was by my girlfriend Kimberly. It's 2 shades of green, one on one side, one on the other, totally different colors, and different types of fabric as well, but they are polar fleece. It is the warmest blanket. Whenever we get really chilly nights here in southeastern Ontario, it is the one I go to grab to put on the bed, just to give me that extra little, you know, so I don't get chilled or whatever. It's my favorite blanket, and I've had it for probably 15 years, if not more now, probably 18. Okay, so what you could do is just start off in the center and come up to your line, okay? Just come up right to your line and then move over, and whatever spacing you want to do, if you just want to wing it, that's, you know, completely up to you, okay? So we're just going to do maybe 3/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch, somewhere in between there. Come up with our cuts, nice and clean, okay? Nice and clean. Hello, Mr. Clive. And as you come to the corner, Okay, because you're going to get a couple of different shapes and sizes. You're going to get more like pie wedges than anything else, but just that's okay. Be coming in as a little pie wedge. Just don't cut so you end up cutting the piece out. Thanks, Mr. Magoo. Hopefully you can see that on the small camera too. I've been trying to show you. And then just keep coming around, okay? All the way around till you get to your line. Okay, easy peasy. Fun, easy project. All you're doing is a lot of cutting. And this is where you could do the one part and the munchkins could do the next part, especially when it's creating something for themselves. Lots of time they have an idea of what fabric they like. And of course, polar fleece is very soft and comfortable, and it has lots of colors and textures in it. This fabric here was donated from Kaylin, and I thought it would make a lovely hot water bottle for, well, I'm going to make a few of them, but for my nieces. You know, when you get, life is life, and being a girl is being a girl, and sometimes you require a hot water bottle, so I thought that would be a nice idea to do for them. So, nice hot water bottle cover. Okay. Make sure you're coming in to your cut size. All right. Hello, Mr. Clive. Getting all your attention, are you? And easy peasy as you make your way around. Okay, so what you're going to do with your two pieces, because you have your two back sides together, this is the more prominent stitch out here where you can see the pattern more clearly. This is a little bit more on the fuzzy side, though it is softer. I mean, it's completely up to you what side you want to use. That's your choice for sure. So what you do is you'll take your two little pieces that line right up against each other and literally just tie them in a knot like that. Just like that. Easy peasy. That's why I say this is great for the kids to do. You get them set up so they know which ones they're doing. Especially if you had two different colored fabrics, that would be far easier for the kids to make sure they're, tying a blue and a purple together sort of thing or whatever, or what have you. And just easy like that. Nice and easy. And I think in my 15 to 18 years I've had with the blanket that my girlfriend Kimberly made me, I've maybe redid the ties once. And it was only like on two little bits. So the ties, when you tie them in the knot, really stay. And they look so pretty. And then even at this point, if you wanted to, you could come in and do another little clip with thread or with your scissors. These ones are far sharper on the tips. Okay. And make another little, so it's more fuller. It's completely up to you, right? And then once you get to that part, you can, put either if you're putting the hot water bottle in or the heating pad in, or you want to make it as a pillowcase, you just kind of put your pillow in or heating pad or whatever in, and then just do the ties right back up. Okay. And they're easy enough to take out too. So just make sure you're lining up the ones that should go together. Okay. Hopefully I'm doing all that okay in the camera. I'm sure it's probably just more the main camera than anything else today. Okay. Oops. All right, try and get that in there. Just tie those up all nice and pretty. And have some fun when you're doing the corners, that's for sure. They don't have to be square. They can be very triangular or circular or what have you. Just make sure you're putting the legs that need to be together to do the tie. Okay. And in no time at all, you have a beautiful little project. Okay. And then you go ahead and you put your hot water bottle or what have you in, or if you have, you can make it so it's a little Velcro on one side, and and then that helps with tummy aches and and cramps and back aches and whatever sports injuries. Sometimes a little hot water bottle certainly helps. So you do the same principle if you were doing a big quilt, a big blanket, whether you're just doing a pillowcase or whatever. Come in a few inches at least. I would say the minimum would be 3 to make sure you got those beautiful little tie sections together so you can see what it looks like when it's all tied together, and it looks fun and it feels fun, and and like I said, the kids can do this themselves. They can make their own stamp on their own project, and go from there. So it's pretty much just lining up tying one over the other. And because you've cut to a certain length, and one's not going to be longer than the other, or so on and so forth. I mean, you can make a lovely shape with your cuttings. They're only limitation is your imagination. I say that all the time. Okay. So isn't that just the funnest, neatest, no-sew project ever? Simple, easy tie. Just like that. Okay. And it's a great little blanket for Clive. Right, buddy? He's clearly not impressed. All right, so that is the first project that I wanted to show you. And the second one, I just wanted to show you the progress that we've been working on. If you have been in any part of our past 2 live streams of 12 hours, that's the one in November and the one in December we just had on last Saturday, we have been working on this project. So I have finished it to that point, and then I needed it bigger because it was only 80 by 80 and they needed to fit a king-size bed. So with the leftover bits and bobs of fabric, I went and made a bunch of 4 patches, okay? And I'm just going to show you a quarter here so you can see what I have progressed so far, okay? Okay. So when I put the 4 patches together, I took a measurement because I didn't want to cut the 4 patches. They're 2.5 by 2.5, and I used some of the border or binding fabric. They had the gray as the binding, but because I was adding, I knew I could probably use black because black's going to be my fine of color on this project. I could build it out a little bit more. So right now it stands at 100 by 102, and I'd like to make it a little bit bigger. So this was where it was 80 by 80. I stuck in a little 1.5 inches here to make it 83 by 83 on one side, which accommodated for one strip of the rainbow collection. I did another flying goose in the center of a different color that we hadn't used before, and just did a nice strip to the corners, alternating, doing the opposite of what I had going on here. So it started off with the purple in the middle, red to the outside. This started off with red and ending at purple. So I'm going to build out a little bit more. Pop was fine with me taking the last color border section that I wanted to do and making just random colors. It didn't have to be in the rainbow sequence. It could be sporadic, crazy, whatever I wanted to do. So I think I'm going to do a 3-inch square and with the leftover cutout bits because I have quite a bit of color left over. So some colors may be repeated. I may toss in a white or a gray or a black in there somewhere. We'll figure it out as we go along, but it's going to be built out to probably be about 115-ish, at least on one side, all right, because it has to accommodate a king-size bed. So we thank you very, very much for everybody for all your support this whole year in 2019. We've grown so much thanks to you guys. And we've come so far, that's for sure. We're almost 15,000 fans on YouTube, and thank you for everybody who hits that subscribe button and participates with us in the Online Quilters Guild, which is www.wesewit.com. Please sign up there. It doesn't cost you anything. If you want to help, you can, and you'll end up getting an extra video because of that and a chance to win a quilt that we do via the membership, okay? So thank you, everybody. Big hugs from us. Ooh, and a feisty Clive. Have yourself a great day. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow on the 28th, where we're going to continue working on Pop's snowflake quilt and building out the center snowflake. We've got some of the candy cane border behind us here and the corner blocks, and we're very excited to finish putting that together. Okay, Mr. Mischievous, Mr. Clive is in the house. Take care, everybody. Thank you so very much for being a fan of the channel. We appreciate you so very much. You have no idea. Thank you, thank you. Big hugs from us, and hope everybody has a fantastic new year if we don't see you on the weekend, okay? Bye, everybody. Thank you.